When Samuel first arrived in the United States, everything felt exciting and full of possibilities. He had left his home country with one goal in mind: to build a better future. New country, new job opportunities, a completely different financial system. Back home, Samuel had always used cash to pay for everything. Credit cards were not something he was familiar with, and he had never needed to think about credit scores before. So when a bank approved him for his very first credit card with a $300 limit, he felt proud and relieved. To him, it simply looked like extra money he could use when needed. But what Samuel didn't understand was that using credit in America comes with important rules, and one small decision with that card would soon teach him a lesson he would never forget. A few days after getting the credit card, Samuel decided to buy something he really needed. His old phone had stopped working properly, and he needed a reliable phone for work, maps, and communication. Inside an electronics store, he found a phone he liked. The price was $280. Samuel checked his credit limit again. It was $300, so he believed everything was perfectly fine. Without thinking twice, he used the credit card to pay. The transaction went through instantly. Samuel walked out of the store feeling happy and confident, holding his brand new phone. But what he didn't know was that using almost all of your credit limit can negatively affect your credit score. And by spending more than 90% of his available credit, Samuel had unknowingly made a financial mistake many new immigrants make. At first, Samuel didn't worry about the credit card bill. He believed he could simply pay it later once he received his next paycheck. But life quickly became busy. Work hours increased, and he had many other responsibilities adjusting to his new life in America. Days turned into weeks. Then, one afternoon, a notification appeared on his phone. It was a message from his credit card company. "Your payment is overdue." Samuel immediately logged into his account and quickly paid the balance. But by that time, the damage had already been done. The late payment had been reported to the credit bureaus, and his credit score dropped significantly. For Samuel, it was the first time he realized how powerful a single late payment could be. A few months later, Samuel decided it was time to move into a better apartment. He found a nice place in a safer neighborhood and quickly submitted an application. The landlord reviewed his documents and then asked for something Samuel didn't expect: his credit score. Samuel didn't think it would be a problem. After all, he had a stable job and steady income. But a few days later, he received an email. His application had been denied. The reason was simple: his credit score was too low. In the United States, landlords, lenders, and even some employers often check your credit history before making important decisions. And that single mistake from months ago was now affecting Samuel's future. Samuel eventually decided he needed to understand how credit truly works in the United States. He began reading financial guides and watching videos about building credit responsibly. From that moment on, he promised himself he would never miss another payment. He started paying every bill before the due date. He also kept his credit card balance low, using only a small portion of his available credit. Slowly but surely, his credit score began to recover. Month after month, it improved. Samuel finally realized that in America, credit is not just about borrowing money. It is about trust, discipline, and consistency. And while his $300 mistake had been painful, it became one of the most valuable financial lessons of his life.